Okay, welcome back to KenSmithFishing.com, our Sam Rayburn navigational aids. So we are now going to break down basically from Veach up. So we've already covered on prior videos the other end of the lake down here. The big creek you see poking out down there on the south end of the lake, and by the way, there's a number of them down here. There's Fire Tower, there's Sandy's down here. There's a bunch of creeks on the south end down here. This is all pretty open. You can run through this stuff. You can run into Caney. There's an island out in front of it called the Church Steps. The island used to have, or actually still does have, a set of church steps or a set of steps out off the mouth of it, in the mouth of Caney. You can run pretty much anywhere you want to back in Caney. A couple of these little creeks over here have some timber in them, but you'll see it. If you see it, don't run in there. The creeks that have timber in them are solid timber, but pretty much all of them at pool or just below pool, you can see that timber really well. The only couple of real hazards, I think, in Caney, number one, zoom this in as best I can. In the very back of Caney, that roadbed is a four-reel roadbed, and where the creek crosses it right down here, and I don't have waypoints on it with me, but where that crosses it, that is a solid concrete bridge. So if you get back there and you're anything less than one, and I'm guessing on this, guys, I think when I actually hit it idling one day, I think it was 158 when I hit it. So if you're below 160 back there, be pretty careful. If you've never been back there, the first time you run across it, you're gonna see it actually. So there is a, make sure I've got it zoomed out far enough. This is the Caney ramp right here. This is an old state park. When you come in on 2743, that's the Farm to Market Road, you'll actually see it run out across the lake. As you're running in here, you'll see the gap in the trunk pine trees. It's very obvious where that runs. So just idle across it first time you're back there. Make sure you're at a spot that it's plenty deep enough. It should be, unless the lake is down, and then you can rerun that trail if you're fishing back there so that you know that that's safe. That's really the only dangerous thing back there. Now, out here, these are what are known as the Caney Flats. All right. This map does not do this justice. Way out here, I would say probably halfway across Rayburn, reaching out to Veach. That water's probably at pool no more than 10 or 12 feet deep. So when the lake gets low, you get some really shallow water out here. So if you guys are at Rayburn and it's in the 150s, just be really careful running around out here. It does get very shallow out there. If you launch out of Caney, or if you are coming, back it up, if you launch out of Caney or you're coming up the lake from Humphrey, you can run all the way past Caney until you hit the Black Forest, which starts right here. So I'm going to give you some waypoints. I'm going to give you first this waypoint right here. That would be sort of the south and I guess west corner of the forest. And I'm going to give you the northeast corner of the forest. I guess that's what that would be, sort of how it's shaped. You'll have these two waypoints, and this will help you be able to run through this area. So let me pull those waypoints up here. Okay, so I'm going to give you now this corner. Let's call this the Veach corner of the forest. So on my map, you'll see this is Veach. It's actually, as I recall, I marked it just barely to the north of the river there so that I could run that corner easily. So this corner of the forest is going to be 3110.767 by 94.14.458. So that's going to be that corner right there. Now again, as long as you stay on this side of the river, on the north side of the river, you can run all the way to the mouth of Harvey and you don't have any timber issues. Just stay back on that side of the river. However, a lot of guys want to run the back side of the forest. If you're going up above the bridge, according to the wind direction, it's probably quicker sometimes down here to run this backside from Humphrey Pavilion. So let me give you now this corner right here. I'm going to call this one Preacher Ray's Corner because that creek you see down there actually this one is Preacher Ray's. So the Preacher Ray's Corner is going to be 31.09.897 by 9415.525. That's going to be the, I guess, sort of the east boundary. If you thought the lake runs north-south, it would be the south boundary, but really, again, on this map, that's north. So this boundary, that would be really the east boundary of the Black Forest. Now, I didn't talk about this yet, but you'll see guys run. Let me back it out for you a little bit here. You're going to see guys run all through this forest. If it's 164, I will run some of the stuff out there I'm comfortable with. If it's 165 and above, I'll pretty much run around out there. If it's anything below pool, I won't. You'll see guys running out there at all different lake levels. Don't think most of them know what they're doing. They're just running around. I actually was sitting out here fishing on a spot up here one day, and a guy ran by me out here in about a 30-foot muscle boat running about 80 with, I think the lake was about 159. So I don't know if he hit anything or not, or if later that night he couldn't figure out why he had fiberglass damage. All right, so now let's go up and let's put the other corners on the forest. All right, so by the way, lots of little creeks back here in behind the forest. Those are all pretty much runnable. Now, what you will note here on the map is this is very shallow on the back side of the forest. Most of it at pool you can run. When it starts getting lower, just really pay attention. If you get down in the low 160s, especially down into the 150s lake level, just keep an eye on both on your nav charts as well as on your depth finder as you're running through here. Now there's a few random pieces of timber, as there are all over Rayburn out here, but generally speaking you can run this stuff as long as you stay out of the forest, and I'm going to give you some waypoints. So let's go up here. This is Mud Creek right here. So I'm going to give you, and then that's Calhoun Point. So this right here is known as, okay guys, I apologize, this is a little jumpy. I realized I had accidentally deleted some video. So again, backside of forest, so this will be the south part of the forest. This is Calhoun Point, this is Mud Creek. This point is known as Peckerwood. Sorry, you can't make this stuff up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a series of 3 waypoints. So this is north, so this will be the west, sort of the southwest corner of the forest. So I'm going to give you one here, and one here. Once you enter these, you'll have this corner, and then you'll know that you can run back out to the waypoint I give you up here in just a second in another section of this video. So this corner, and we're going to call this the Mud Creek corner. It is going to be 31.11.127 by 094.17554, and then 31.11.223 by 094.17.533. And then I believe I'm giving them to you in this order. The most northern is going to be 31.12.177 by 094.17.065. So we now have this corner, and these corners. This video, again, is going to be jumpy, but here in a second I'm going to give you 3 waypoints down through here. I'm going to give you this waypoint, and then pretty much the other side of the forest just follows the river. So as long as you're on the north side of the river, you're safe. On the east part or on this side, and then in a minute I'll talk about this again. We'll outline the amber forest for you as well. 31.11.000 and 94.16.693. Now I'm going to give you 2 other waypoints just out across here that for me define the backside. I call this the backside of the forest. So I will not run north of these other 2 waypoints. So what I'm going to give you, I've given you 3 up here, 1 down here. Now I'm going to give you 2 more so you can kind of box, if you will, the forest in. One of them is going to be 31.10.735, then 94.16.545, and then the most southeasterly is going to be 31.10.438, so that's 31.10.438, 94.16.107. Now we have given you the entire boundary. Now granted, those waypoints are a long ways apart. You can just sort of draw a line here. No, don't run back to this side unless you're north of the river up here, okay? Now, once the forest makes this corner off Peckerwood, it goes all the way out here to the river. Now, I'll tell you, I'm not certain that I have it exactly there. I may have it over here. I may have it a little bit too far back to the northeast. Just if wherever this waypoint is, stay this side of it some, if you will. And we're going to call this one the Harvey corner, because this is Harvey Creek up here, and it's going to be 31.12.177, 94.17.065. Okay, so we've now given you the definitions of all of this real quick. You can run in mud. This is mud. However, this creek in mud, oops, where am I? Right here, sticks really, really far out there. So just be careful. That is a very, very shallow creek sticking out there. Excuse me, shallow point sticking out there, right there. And then these points, this is Calhoun Point. There are a couple of little islands out here, and there's some big trees out here that I think generally are floaters, but they're sort of permanent floaters. They don't seem to go anywhere. So as you're making that corner, just be careful of that. Now, if you're running this part of the lake, make sure and watch our next video, because there's also timber here. It's called the amber forest. So we're going to give you the amber forest as well. So tune right back in. I'm sorry, I just showed you something you couldn't see. This is the amber forest, okay? So make sure you see the next video, kensmithfishing.com, and we'll learn how to run all the way to the bridge and also how to run back into Harvey. And I'm sorry, I just realized one more waypoint I want you to know about. And I don't know exactly where this is, but somewhere out here, just in the back side of the forest, there's just one big gnarly tree back there. I have it marked with a skull and crossbones. So just enter this. Don't run over this waypoint. This would be bad. It is 31.10.916, 94.16.787. 31.10.916, 94.16.787. That is just a big nasty random tree in the back of the forest. Don't run through there. All right, we'll be back in a second. Thanks, guys.